Hello everyone, welcome to another video with Cass on the Maizuma channel. So today I'm finally bringing you a project I have been idealizing for quite a long time. It's a multi-item sorting system, which means that different kinds of items all fall into the same chest. And I came up with this idea years ago, but every time something failed and I was never able to do it. So this time I'm here to show you a prototype. So keep this in mind for the entire video. This is a prototype, but it's functional for now. And the reason why I'm showing you this, although it's unfinished, is because I need some feedback and ideas from you guys. So um, the innovation I bring this time is that we don't need reserved slots. So for example, this is supposed to be the nether row of stuff. So everything related to the nether falls in here. So a nether brick, for example, would absolutely fall in here. So let's test this. For now, the input is up here. So let's throw maybe one stack of items. And now the system's going to try to find a place for the nether brick blocks. Every time it doesn't succeed, this lamp turns on and the system will try to reconfigure itself and process the items. So while the system tries to do that, I will show you maybe some other examples in here. So I think this is one of the most useful ones. This is a chest that all the redstone components fall in. So comparators will all fall in here, redstone torches, droppers, dispensers, and this is really useful because when you try to do a redstone project, you want all the components. You don't want to open a bunch of chests just because you want all the components for your projects. By the way, the system was able to successfully find where to store the nether bricks, and it's doing it right now. No reserved things, and some of those are of course trapped chests because we are in Minecraft 1.12, and that means that, well, with the usual systems with the reserved slots, this would break the machine, but not in this case. So this is another advantage. So let's try to sort out some diamonds, maybe. Let's place them here. Uh, let's see, maybe uh, some of those bone blocks. This slot here is for everything related to bone, so bones themselves, bone meal and bone blocks. This is for coal blocks, coal and charcoal, so let's maybe introduce some of those. And this is going to take hay bale, wheat, as well as seeds. And this one is for all of the kinds of fish or every mob that drops something. So puffer fish, clownfish, insects, and the other kinds of fish as well, all coming down in there. And this one is pretty crazy. This one is for all the 16 types of wool. They all fall inside this line of chests. And this is of course expandable. I just used 2 lines in here, but no problem with that. This one is also an interesting idea. This one is for everything that you can craft out of spruce. So spruce, slabs, stairs, fences, really fence gates, anything that you can do with spruce. Spruce logs also go in there. And yeah, so it's tileable, it's easy to expand, easy to configure, but there are also some downsides. One of them is sometimes the system can be quite slow because basically when it cannot find where to put an item, it reconfigures itself and then it tries again and again until everything gets sorted out. So while the system tries to deal with the items that I have input so far, let's check out some of the redstone. So this is the system in its entirety. And now let me try to explain a little bit of how this works by breaking those blocks. So on this side of the circuit, we have a modified version of the classical item sorter. So if I click on these hoppers, you can see that this is sorting for charcoal now. This is sorting for hay bale. This is sorting for puffer fish. The system, has it found anything? Yes, it's found the diamond now. So it's sorting for the diamond. Maybe I can reach this one. No, I don't think I can reach that far. Okay, so if you look inside here, I think this is going to change in a little bit. So let's wait for that because I can hear the item elevator. Okay, so now it's sorting for clownfish, and this is basically how the entire system works. Um, the items you input in here, they all trying to find a item sorter. When it doesn't work, the items return to this item elevator. Every time the item elevator fires, it sends a signal down here to this clock here, to this pulse extender, and a latch is activated. What this does is it locks the input. So if we fail to find a slot for the item, the entire system stops inputting more items, and then we wait for all the items to get back inside the chest. Once this happens, after a certain time, it sends a pulse to all the item sorters, and basically the item inside them will shift, and we will have a new item. So, for example, if you look in here, you can see all the types of wool that we can sort in this system, all the kinds of spruce things, including leaves, doors, everything related to the nether goes in here. For example, if I want this line to also sort for nether wart blocks, which is not included with the system, I can just place a block here, and there you go, guys. We just changed the system, so now it takes into account nether wart blocks. This is how easy it is. This is for the ores. They're all in here, and yeah, the pulse. The pulse that changes things will quickly empower this line. So we have the traditional item filter in here, and then we have another filter in here because we cannot power this guy. So when this empowers, this item falls in, and the item that was in the item filter moves to the next hopper, and then the new item comes inside this, and then when this powers again, then this works as an item elevator that sends the item, it kind of rotates in here, and then we have a new item to sort. So yeah, the one downside here is that we can't have a real sequence in here. Because the item that was inside the item filter goes to this next one, it's guaranteed that whenever the system pulses, we're going to get a different item. But since it's a random item, this is especially problematic when you have too many items to sort in the same slot, like in the case of this, all the colors of wool, because basically, since we're trying to find where to place, let's say, the lime wool, we have a 1 in 15 chance that we will actually get the lime wool to work. So this is what makes the system a little bit slow. So even though it's capable of dealing with a lot of items, the ideal thing to do is to just have a couple of items, like in this case here, just hay bales, wheat, and seeds. That's a good option. This definitely makes the system slow. So apparently now everything is sorted out. The diamonds are in place, the bone blocks are in place as well, and yeah, it's a functional system. The last advantage I believe is worth mentioning is it will always remember the last thing it sorted out, and this is valid for each different slot in here. So for example, here we know that the last thing that we had was diamonds, so let's grab just 3 diamonds, and we also know that the last thing here was those bone blocks, so let's maybe grab the entire stack. So if I input the system now with these things, the system will immediately find them. So here are the bone blocks, and I don't have a lot of diamonds, so in this case, what will happen is we will need this line. So as you can see, when the system is sorting something, this line always gets powered, which will block the item elevator, basically. So any other item that wasn't sorted, so in this case I was mistaken, I thought the last thing was diamond, but probably the system got changed by other sorter, and then it doesn't remember diamonds anymore. But it did remember the bone block, so it was able to sort it immediately. And it's really useful, especially when you come back from the caves with lots of cobblestone in your inventory, so you can keep throwing the cobblestone in and it will sort them out really fast. So basically this is a fail-safe mechanism which prevents the system from breaking, because if you have in this case just a few items like the 3 diamonds that I have input and they don't have a place to go yet, they will try to reset the sorters. But following that, there was a stream of bone blocks, and those blocks would start being sorted in here. So if we reset the system while we have items flowing through, it will break the sorters definitely. And this is why we have this line here. So if it's actually sorting something, we stop the item elevator so that it cannot change the item filter. So this is protection. And this is the last smart thing about this system. So those are all the advantages. The downside is, of course, it's slow. We have to deal with the probabilities in here. And the last thing is, if it doesn't actually have a place to put an item, it doesn't know what to do. So if I input, for example, a lily pad, which is not configured anywhere, the system will keep trying to find a place here forever. So one of the solutions I thought of is maybe to have to add a counter here. So if the system fails to find a place for a set of items for, let's say, 40 times in 40 consecutive times, then it will automatically stop trying and throw all the items inside a separate chest. Could be even the input chest. So then you either need to make a decision of adding a slot for the new items or just leaving the items there where they're not going to bother you. So overall, I think it's a nice system. Can of course use a lot of improvements, but I think it was time to share this with you guys and get some ideas. So I could really use some feedback on this. So please, guys, post in the comments your ideas. What could be improved with the system, and how would you do that? Because I really want to use this thing, and I really think it's a great system. If we get to improve it over time. Oh, I also forgot to mention this. Yeah, I will not provide a tutorial for now because this is a prototype, but you can download the map. If you want, just ask in the comments. And if you do download it, I left a chest with lots of different items that you can just throw inside the system if you want to test how slow it is or how fast it is. So there's that as well.